first of all, they wanted to call it like the D-Roc Rob Vanderloo or whatever, but I said maybe it's cooler just to call it the D-Roc Hellboy. I've always liked the idea of being able to play in a low tuning, but on a 4-string. But let's be honest, most 4-strings that I tried to tune down in B or maybe drop A is almost impossible. I mean, it is possible, but they'll always sound kind of muddy and they're always really hard to get the right intonation. And with our music, intonation is such an important part, especially if you work with, like I said before, with orchestras and with choirs, you name it. The more instruments you'll use on your music, the more important your intonation will be. So I actually sent an email to Sheldon and asked him, you know, is it perhaps possible for you to build me another, perhaps a Super J or a Super PJ in a 4-string version, but then with the skill of a 5-string? Because normally, he said, yeah, we still have like 4-string version of this, but the problem with those is that you have the configuration of an E tuning, so the scale is shorter, and I wanted the scale of a 5-string so that I can have like at least a 35-inch B string, if not a 37-inch B string. But actually a few weeks later I got an email from Sheldon. He said, you know, I've been doing some thinking and I still have this model that I had in mind. I always wanted to do like a little tribute to this really classic bass guitar that I've never done before. And it's a different model than a Super PJ or a Super J, but you know, the idea for me is to make like, just like you want, a 4-string, but I want to make like a classic 4-string, passive, no nonsense, simple, but perhaps we can, you know, fuse both projects. So you'll have your 4-string with an extra longer scale so you can, you know, tune it in B, and I'll be able to make, you know, realize that dream that I have of doing that tribute to the classic bass guitar that I have in mind. The cool thing is that after a while the D-Roc became like a standard model. It started as a one-off project, but people were asking after that bass guitar, asking for it, and like, can we also get it in through the custom shop? And that's how it kind of started. And to celebrate that whole thing, Sheldon came to me like, hey Rob, we've really been appreciating our collaboration and your input on this model, so we would like you to have your own signature model. And I was, yeah, really surprised and really got almost a lump in my throat, and I was like, am I actually worthy of this? But yeah, well, there you go. He wanted to do that. So, and that's when we came with the idea to start the D-Roc Hellboy. When Sheldon told me that, he said like, okay, I want to build you a signature bass guitar. Felipe, he's the guy who works for this DINGWALL staff. He does the social media for DINGWALL. He said, hey man, if you're gonna have your signature bass, you're definitely gonna need a Hellboy bass. I said, like, why? Yeah, because you're a huge fan. We know that you're a huge fan of it. And we definitely want something regarding Hellboy. Something has to be, you know, somehow, I don't know, maybe we can build you a red bass or whatever, or call it the right hand of doom, whatever you want. Maybe you can get in touch with the people from Dark Horse Comics, or maybe Mike Mignola, who created Hellboy. So I sent an email to the web shop of Mike Mignola, and funny enough, I got a personal reply of him within 2 hours. And he really liked the idea. It was really cool. He said like, okay, cool, no problem. I really like it. And first of all, they wanted to call it like the D-Roc Rob Vanderloo or whatever, but I said maybe it's cooler just to call it the D-Roc Hellboy. I actually became a Hellboy thanks to the movies. I've been a Guillermo del Toro fan for quite some years, and actually the first movie, yeah, really triggered me to become a fan. One day I bumped into a bookstore, and somehow there was a Hellboy comic lying there on the table, and I've never seen it before, and I was really blown away by Mike Mignola's artwork. I mean, you can see it here as well. It's mostly about the darkness, about the shades and everything, and the linings. That's a very important element of Mike Mignola's style, and I was really blown away by it. And I just bought a comic and gave it a try, and I didn't stop reading ever since. And since that very first day, I started becoming a big collector of, first of all, the comics, but I also own like original artwork as well. Even from this one, I even have a few of the original pages, so that's pretty cool. And why did I choose for this one? This is actually one of my very favorite Hellboy stories, The Wild Hunt. And the cool thing also about this story is that the new movie is kind of loosely based on this story. And so I have a very special connection to this one. So, and I really love the cover, by the way. That's also a very important element, of course. So in the end, yeah, we chose to go for this artwork, and that ended up on this bass guitar.